Hey guys, welcome back to the Spooky Channel. Today, we're taking you on a spine-tingling journey into the unknown as we explore some of the creepiest things ever found in the woods. Woodlands and forested areas can be some of the most haunting places to explore, from historical tragedies to unsolved mysteries. So sit back, relax, and get ready to explore the creepy world of the forest. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more thrilling content. Now let's go. The Earth is alive. The rich plant life of woodlands supports countless animal species, making them some of the most biodiverse regions in the world. If you witness the rare phenomenon where the forest floor appears to be breathing beneath your feet, it can almost make you believe that the entire place is alive. Footage of this creepy and almost incomprehensible event exists online, where the ground clearly lifts up and down like a monster snoring beneath the mossy woodland floor. After the initial amazement, scientific curiosity sets in, and it's discovered that the phenomenon occurs only when the wind speeds are high and the soil is sufficiently loose. The wind rocks the trees and their roots move with them. With enough force, the whole forest floor undulates, including rocks and debris, creating this incredible effect. Booby traps. Imagine you're hiking through the woods, carefully watching your step in case you come across any natural hazards like a dangerous animal or a steep cliff. But what if you stumble upon something far more sinister? That's exactly what happened to a forestry officer in April of 2012 on a routine patrol along the Big Springs Trail in Provo Canyon, Utah. As he was walking, he spotted a tripwire on the ground and looked up to see a terrifying sight. A spiked boulder rigged to swing at head height and another boulder intended to push someone into a bed of wooden spikes. Can you imagine the horror of walking into a trap like that? The rock weighed 20 pounds and it would have killed or severely injured anyone who triggered it. It was a stroke of luck that the ranger found the devices before anyone was hurt. Just a few days later, 2 teenagers were arrested for setting up the traps. It's chilling to think that people could intentionally create something so deadly, and it's a stark reminder that danger can lurk in unexpected places. Always be aware of your surroundings, even in the great outdoors. So if you're planning a hike anytime soon, remember to keep your wits about you and stay alert. You never know what you might come across in the woods. A freezer with body parts inside. In April 2021, a resident in Fairbanks, Alaska stumbled upon what they believed was just another piece of garbage in the woods, a freezer sticking out of the snow. However, upon opening it, they were horrified to find it contained human remains. Troopers were called to investigate and confirmed that the freezer did indeed contain the remains of a 67-year-old woman from Anchorage who had been missing for over a year. The discovery was clearly a case of homicide, but worryingly, very little evidence leading to the perpetrator was found. The full details of the discovery have not been released, and the case has already been classified as a cold case. It is a stark reminder of the darker side of humanity and the importance of properly disposing of waste. German hand grenade. In Germany, there is a specialized bomb disposal squad called the Explosive Ordnance Disposal Service. Due to the country's history of warfare, it's the busiest department of its kind in the world, with at least one bomb deactivated every 2 weeks. However, in April of 2021, something strange happened. The squad was called to a scene in a forest near the city of Passau, where a jogger had found a transparent bag containing what looked like a hand grenade. Upon opening the bag, the bomb disposal officers found that the grenade was made of soft rubber and was accompanied by a bottle of lubricant and a pack of condoms. It was clear that the owners of the bag had not been playing war games in the forest, but had instead been engaging in a more intimate activity. It's not entirely clear why they choose to dispose of their equipment there instead of elsewhere, but it was probably a better option than attempting to recycle it. Deteriorating Dolls. The network of waterways to the south of central Mexico City is interspersed by small tree-covered islands, but there is one in particular that's probably the creepiest wooded area you could ever visit. Known as the Island of the Dolls, it first got its name in the 1950s when various dolls began appearing all over the island. and since then more and more have been continually added. According to the local legend, the man that used to own the site began placing the dolls amongst the trees and buildings after witnessing a young girl drowning in one of the rivers and believed that he had heard her shout out that she wanted her doll. Terrified, he instead picked up the doll that was near her and hung it in a tree, and the tradition was born. In a further mystery, the man originally responsible for the dolls also died on the island, supposedly in almost exactly the same place he had found the young girl all those years earlier. Since his death, the island of the dolls has become a popular tourist site, with thousands of people traveling by boat to see the strange place for themselves. However, despite knowing what they're about to see, almost everyone gets shivers down their spine as the reality of how truly creepy it is finally dawns on them. There are now hundreds of dolls scattered across the island, and since some of them have been there for decades, they now become covered with cobwebs and insects that are falling apart, which further adds to the creepy feel of the place. Face carvings. Storrs Mill Woods near the town of Barnsley in England may seem like an ordinary forest at first glance, but take a closer look at the rocks and cliff edges and you'll get the sense that the place is watching your back. Known as the Cudworth stone faces, the number of carvings around the area is unknown, but they are a far cry from a peaceful walk in nature. According to local legends, the stone faces were either ruins left by Druid thousands of years ago, carved by monks to protect the spiritually significant area, or even created to honor Viking warriors. However, the truth behind the carvings is far less exciting, as they were the creation of two local artists, Melvin Dickinson and Billy Johnson. Nonetheless, stumbling upon the faces in the woods without knowing their true origin would undoubtedly be a surreal and spine-chilling experience. Aliens? Are you ready for a mind-boggling story? Buckle up, because we're taking you back to November 2015 in the mystical San Francisco Bay Area. It all started with mysterious lights in the sky that were moving in ways that defied the laws of physics. Of course, this sparked a frenzy of suggestions that UFOs were visiting the area. But the plot thickens. A local stumbled upon something bizarre in the nearby woods and shared a picture of it online. The picture showed what appeared to be a lifeless being that had deflated slightly, and the lady who found it claimed to have heard it scream. Experts were baffled and struggled to identify what it could possibly be. However, a reasonable explanation emerged. The strange discovery was likely linked to the lights seen in the sky, but it wasn't aliens. In fact, the lights were test launches of Trident nuclear missile systems, which in some areas would have been accompanied by loud explosions. So what about the lifeless being? It turns out that what was claimed to be an alien in the woods was likely the fetus of a deer or a cow, where the parent had suffered a miscarriage due to the lights and sounds. The Devil's Tramping Ground. In the forest near Harper's Crossroads area in Bear Creek, North Carolina, there is a notorious camping spot known as the Devil's Tramping Ground. Local legends have it that the 40-foot wide barren circle has been cursed for over a century, and it's where the devil paces around plotting his nefarious schemes. The area is notorious for being devoid of any plant growth, and it is said to be the spot where any object left overnight disappears by morning. Dogs in particular often refuse to approach the site. Despite the eerie stories, thrill seekers still venture there to test their bravery, although the tales of strange noises and eerie experiences often drive them away. The Devil's Tramping Ground remains one of the spookiest forest clearings in the United States, and I wouldn't be caught dead camping there. Free Hugs Hut. In an unidentified forest in Wisconsin, possibly near Plume City, there's a small abandoned structure that has been almost completely reclaimed by nature. At some point, someone spray-painted the words "Free Hugs" with an arrow pointing towards the door, making it possibly one of the creepiest things you could ever find in the woods. A few years ago, an image of this structure began being shared online, and at first, it was thought to be a hoax. However, further images were shared of people who had actually seen it in real life, capturing photos from alternate angles, proving that it is indeed real. While there are now a few images from the outside, it seems as if no one has been brave enough to venture inside for the promised hugs. So what's in there remains a complete mystery. Is it a well-placed joke, or is there something far more nefarious at work here? If you stumbled upon it, would you dare to enter? A sacrificial altar. In 2018, what seemed to be a stone tablet was discovered near the Guatemalan border in Mexico. It had been there for so long that the roots of a tree had entombed it and completely grown around it. Researchers spent almost a year meticulously removing it from the tree, and only then did they realize how significant the find was. Carvings of the previously unknown King Chatuk Ichak, along with a double-headed serpent, revealed that it was a Mayan altar that was around 1,500 years old. In the jungles and forests of South and Central America, there are countless historic artifacts from ancient civilizations that once spread across the region. New archaeological discoveries are constantly being made by expeditions that purposefully search for them, but also by complete accident. While these discoveries can often be new statues, structures, or ornaments, sometimes people come across objects with far creepier relevance. After the stone was cleaned, it became clear that it was an altar on which human sacrifices were performed. It's quite possible that hundreds of people lost their lives on top of this seemingly innocuous piece of stone. While undoubtedly a special discovery, it was also a reminder of how dark some of the rituals that were performed on the continent truly were by today's standards. We appreciate you for choosing to watch the Spooky Channel. We sincerely hope that our content has been both enjoyable and enlightening to you. If you found it satisfying, please express your support by giving us a thumbs up and subscribing to our channel. We value all of our audience members and would be delighted to receive your feedback and inquiries. So don't hesitate to leave them in the comments section below. Keep your sense of wonder alive, and until we meet again, take care.